Hello, people of the internet. Anyway, my name is Zing from OC Magic, and I know I said I wasn't going to do a regional report, but I decided to anyway. Just because I felt like it, honestly. And because I want to let you guys know how I actually did. Because it was somewhat of a notable tournament, although nothing special happened. I went X4, because I'm a fucking scrub. I didn't even bother to see what place I got. I'd have to assume like 50th something. I left. I knew I wasn't getting my invite, so that's why I left. For round one, I played against Kozmo, Kaiju, Demise thing. It was really weird. It was a voltage guy. So, I'm just happy I beat him. I 2-0'd him. 55 minutes. God. Like, I knew I wasn't going to win, more than likely, and I won game one after 35 minutes, just a pure grind fest, because I've basically played all the grind matches that I've had to with the deck. Round two, I played against a good friend of mine playing Metalfoe. Game one, went first, pretty subtle win there. Game two, he cherried me, and I potted them back, and then I got cherried again, and I just couldn't play from that point. And then game three, I thought I clutched him with the Vanities, and he played around my Vanities super well with a really clutch play with Alkahest. So shoutouts to him, he did good. He 2-1 me. Round three, I lost to Toad Hero. I bricked both games. Both games opened Brilliant Fusion Garnet. I have no idea fucking how, but I did, so I lost those games. Round four, I played against Satellarknight, a friend of mine as well. He 2-0'd me. Game one, I go first. I set up my board, and I just get wrecked. Like, he sets up the Quaking, and I do my stuff to try to play around the board. He fucking Alpha Nofas me to negate Buster, and I just lose at that point. And then Rivalry plus Anti-Spell, I couldn't win. So, round five, I played against Fusion Beat Hero. This dude was, like, super nice and all, but I was really salty. Game one, I had everything locked up to win, and I lost. All because I could not beat over a 2800 Anki to save my life. He killed the Dragon Buster, and my field was so cluttered I couldn't tag it out, and I already used my Treacherous, so the Rafflesia did nothing. I could not beat over the Anki. And so in the game 2 and 3 was pretty easy. I'd played against Hero enough to side deck against it. Round 6, I played against Blue Eyes, 2-0. Pretty easy matchup. I played against it enough to know how the deck works. Game 1, he almost decked himself out with Double Desires, but I just kept beating him down with Buster. Game 2, same thing happened. Double Desires, basically won at that point. Round 7, I played against Zing Metalfoe. Game 1, he had a pretty bricky hand, so I was just able to overwhelm him. Game 2, he goes first. He sets up his Hope Harbinger board. I Kaiju over the Hope Harbinger, Dark Hole, everything away, and then I just went through attacking with Castel and Assault Core, equipped with a Buster Drake. Round 8 was Toad Hero. Pulled off the clutchest play ever. Made my Rafflesia. He goes double Shark. He tries to chalice my Rafflesia that he took with a Toad earlier. And I just go, okay, chain, Rafflesia effects, and Treacherous. He calls Judge over to make sure everything's right, and the Judge is like, yeah, everything's right. No traps, 2 legal targets, we're good here. So get rid of the Sharks, he's got no board state, and I just went through beating him down with rank 4s and Buster. And then round 9, I lost to the Mirror. Game 1, just, he had game 1. Okay, so he wins die roll, goes first, says Union Hanger. He summons his A, activates effect, I Ghost Ogre. He's like, what the fuck? Who plays Ghost Ogre? And then he's like, alright, set 1, go. So I go, okay, Twin Twister away your stuff, make my own Buster off of Brilliant Fusion. He's like, yep. And then I went Instant Fusion, Norden, bring back Ghost Ogre, use the extra normal on Gadget to make, what did I make? I made Karagorn, so he couldn't target my stuff. And he had the Union Hanger, and he goes to activate it again. And he Desired too, so I thought he banished all the rest of the Terraformings and Union Hangers. He's got a 3rd Union Hanger after like double Tsukiyomi turn. It was fucking stupid. Game 2, I went first and won. I had the dumbest board, double Buster, Rafflesia. He couldn't play. And then game 3, this dude just had like every cycle reader ever. He searched one and then opened one and then drew one off Desires. I'm like, I drew my pot of Acquisitiveness too. He cherried me. I potted him back and just wasn't enough to win. So 5-4. But anyway, that was 4.5 minutes of rambling about the regional. Nothing too special happened. But anyway, shout out to Jane Yuki because this is his deck. I changed out a few of the cards because I didn't really like the choices that he was playing, but I got to give the deck back, so I'm going to change them out. But I wanted to show you guys the build that I played, not the build that he gave me. So let's run through this deck profile, because 5 minutes of rambling is enough. You guys got the regional report. So I played the 9 unions, 3A, 3B, and 3C. I don't care what people say. I don't care what pro players say. I play my own build, and I didn't want to have to rely on Buster tagging out, so I always have a C in circulation. So I just decided to play the 3rd C. Wasn't, like, didn't really brick. The only time I bricked was when I drew all monsters, because even if the only spell in my hand was, like, a Twin Twister or a Chalice, I could at least, like, set up a board. So, 2 of each gadget. I've already predetermined that this was the correct ratio to play. So 2 of each gadget, gold and silver. There were some clever plays where I went like Norn Instant Fusion, bring back gadget, leave the gadget on board to float. So triple Thrasher. I just wanted to have a turn 1 Tsukiyomi the majority of the time, so that I could at least have access to more cards in my deck turn 1. So that's why I decided to play triple Thrasher, just because having essentially 12 copies of your combo, being 3 this, 3 hanger, 3 terraforming, 3 brilliant, allowing you to make your Tsukiyomi turn 1 without having to use your normal summon is super good. So 3 Thrasher, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. I wanted a hand trap for going second, and I did not have Max C's, so I would have played Max C, but Ghost Ogre actually did a lot of work throughout the tournament. Like game 1, hitting random field spells, hitting Metalfoe scales. It was super good, so I would have preferred Max C, but Ghost Ogre did what it was supposed to do. And then I am playing a Brilliant Fusion Engine, so 1 Garnet and 1 Trick Clown. My buddy was not playing Trick Clown. I decided to put it in here just because I wanted to have access to a light XC by being able to bring back the Trick Clown and just having to use my normal summon off of Sook and leaving my other normal summon for Union Hanger, instead of having to use both my normal summons on light monsters to go into the Tsukiyomi. So that's it for monsters. I believe it was, I think it's 20. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 20 monsters, 19 spells. I'll talk about why I played 1 trap. 3 hanger and 3 terraforming. Having 6 Union Hanger is broken. It just is. I opened Union Hanger terraforming a lot, which I didn't find that bad, just because I was able to play Union Hanger over Union Hanger if I thought that my opponent didn't have a response. Usually what I did is I kept my terraforming set in my back row, just as bluffs, and then if they got Twin Twister, they got Twin Twister. It never hurt me that bad. Or some, depending on the matchup, if I was in like the mirror, I'd leave this in my hand to pitch, because once you have 1 Union Hanger on board, that's all you really need. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion, the best card in the deck. Like, opening this card just eventually wins you the game. If I ever play this deck again, which I might take it to locals if my buddy lets me, I might play a second copy of just a random Gem Knight, because I drew Brilliant Fusion Garnet way too fucking much, and I'm not even playing Desires, so. 2 Instant Fusion. I thought about playing 3, but I decided 2 was the correct number, just because I wanted to have access to extra rank 4 plays without needing to just use my second normal summon off Satellarknight, because the only time I ever used the second normal summon off Satellarknight is when I was going to extend my board going first. Like, that was the only time I ever truly used it. And then I didn't want to play traps in my deck, because I was terrified of going second, because I knew that if I won the die roll game 1, I was going to go first no matter what. That makes your trap super good. But if you lose the die roll game 1 and your opponent chooses second, or your opponent chooses first, they set up their board, and your traps do nothing. So 2 copies of Book of Eclipse. I kind of hated this card, but I also love this card because this card added so many fucking boards. Like, my opponent goes double Shark, double Toad. I go Book of Eclipse. Okay, I've wasted a Toad. Also, I ran 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. So, like, this plus this can out the Toad board, and then, sure, that's 2 cards out of your hand, but you still have 4 cards. You can have combo pieces instead of a board now. Eclipse was fine. I never really bricked with it. If I was going first, I sided these cards out and added other cards, but if I was going second, I kept them in, just because that's what they're in the deck to do, is for going second. It's just to really out stun boards like Vanity's Fiend. Like, against the Herald Perfection deck, which I was kind of terrified of, or Dark Synchro 2, you can use these cards to stun their board. So, 2 copies of Twin Twister. Really wish I would have played 3. I had bought 2 of them before the tournament, and I should have put a 3rd one in my deck, but I didn't, because I'm stupid. Because I didn't. Paleo was like the one matchup that I hadn't played against at all, and so I wanted to see how that matchup went, and I never got a chance to play it. But I still wish I would have had the 3rd Twin Twister, because of all the decks I ran into that were just playing, like, they would just go set 2, and I just would not see my Twin Twister. And I'm just like, really? This is bullshit. So, 2 TT. I wish I would have played 3. Don't know what I would cut. 1 Upstart, 1 Rhoda. Have more access to Thrasher, and 39 is better than 40, so that's why I chose to play those cards. And then the one trap. Oh, Treacherous Trap Hole. Clutch's card. No one played around it. This card is fucking amazing, this format. Like, just being able to make a first turn Rafflesia and either set this in your back row as you normally would to pop 2 monsters, or send it off Rafflesia to make them play around, like, okay, what if he has a Bottomless? What if he has Floodgate? What if he has Treacherous, if they even figured it out? But, like, against my round 1 opponent, I was just able to use this to make him banish his pilots, so. 40 card main deck. I don't think I would have changed anything. I wish I would have just played the third Twin Twister. If I had Desires, I would have definitely played Desires. Even though I think Desires is a bad card, just having a generic +1 in your deck is too important in this format, because having a Desires can sometimes just win you the game because you have more cards than your opponent does. But, you know what, whatever. What are you going to do about it? I'm not going to go drop $180 or whatever it is on a place that it Desires. 40 card main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Raygeist and Larvesta, obviously. For the extra deck, 1 Norden, because Instant Fusion. This card gets recycled a lot with Digesto Emerald, so you have more access to rank 4s. The Seraphknight off Brilliant Fusion. You can sometimes put Seraphknight and Garnet back with your Emerald. I never did that, but it's just a thing you can do. And then 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster, the most broken monster in the game right now. No questions about it. For the XCs, Rhapsody and Berserk. This card can have Vanity's Fiend to an extent if you've already established a board and you were going first. Equip it to any random XC. And then run over the Vanity's Fiend. 1 Rafflesia, great card. No one plays around. It's got 2500 defense, so people can't really run it over. Super good. 1 Abyss Dweller. Never summoned it. Never useful. 1 Digesto Emerald. Summoned it a few times if I was going, if it was my second turn and I went first, just so I could recycle some of my pieces back. Tsukiyomi, because it's Tsukiyomi. Just allows you to have your turn 1 plays. 1 Diamond Dire. My buddy was playing 2 Diamond Dire, no Castel, but I decided to take out 1 Diamond Dire for 1 Castel. I never summon Diamond Dire, but I always make Castel. Like, I know there's the Diamond Dire play with, like, Tsukiyomi, and that wrecked me round 9, because he was able to pop my back row and my monster. But I didn't expect to play that many mirrors. Like, I expected to play more Paleo and Hero, and these cards are just better against those decks, so. That's why I did that. 1 Gear Gigant. I summoned it once, and it got struck, and I cried a little bit. But you know what? Whatever. It was perfectly fine. 1 Karen Gordon. Best card in the extra deck. Like, people say this card sucks, but this card's actually, like, really good. Like, if I didn't have any random XC to make, I would just make this. It's like, oh yeah, that thing does have 2450 attack, and it ran over Volflame in the Metalfoe matchup, so that was super cool. And then Dark Rebellion. I made this once. Didn't matter. If I had to put anything in here, it would definitely be the Utopia package. I could not get access to a Utopia Lightning. I had Utopia and Utopia Prime, but I did not have access to a Utopia the Lightning. Just put a Lightning in this extra deck. Side deck, Larvesta. 2 copies of Effect Veiler. These were first Artifact Lancius because I was really terrified of playing the mirror match. But I am so happy I put this in because I played against 3 hero players. The card came in clutch against all the hero matchups except for the one where I bricked. 2 Electric Virus. Blue Eyes in the mirror. I knew Blue Eyes has been a very popular rogue deck ever since ABC took over the format. And this card's just super good, especially against going second. You can make their Buster tag out. Or, yeah, their Buster tag out, their Spirit tag out. You can bait an Infinity Negation. This card's just super good. And it's a light monster, so random synergy there. And then 2 copies of Kamungus. Going second against the Mirror and Paleo, but I never ran into those matchups, so. 2 copies of Dark Hole. I sided this in every time I was going second, especially against Hero. The card Rex Hero, super good. Like, once you just bait out their Toad, you can just Dark Hole away their board and you just win. 2 Spell Arrow, going first against Metalfoe, going second against the Mirror, because you can just get rid of their field spell and you just win. 2 Pot. I wish I would have played 3, but I didn't. I wish I had more access to this card, but whatever. This can also target your opponent's banished monsters, which I did once in the Mirror, so my opponent's Buster tag out fizzled. That was a super cool play, but it never really came up. 2 copies of MST. This is for going first. If I was going first, if I had lost game 1, I said I was going first, I sided out my Twin Twisters and I sided in MSTs just because I knew my opponent was going to do shenanigans, and I could like randomly hit their Floodgate, or I could hit their field spell and I would just win. So I tried not to side out Twin Twisters, but I did. Worked out well. So. And then the 15th card was Vanity's Emptiness. The only time I ever sided this in was A, going first, and B, against matchups. The 2 matchups that I wanted to side it in, was for Paleo and for Metalfoe Magispector, because against that deck, your Treacherous can't do anything. You target the Pendulum monsters, they go away. You target the Fusion monsters, they float. So instead of having the Treacherous actually in your deck, I had a Vanities in my deck, and it came in clutch a couple of times. I also sided it first against Blue Eyes, flipped it game 2, just won, so it was super good. But, like, you can make your board of, like, Buster, Tsukiyomi, Rafflesia, and you have Vanity set, and then you just flip it. Or, like, they could think, is he going to do the Rafflesia? They set up their board, they try to set up their board to use Vanities them, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, if they Raff, they're going to turn off their own Vanities, so they're not going to Raff you. But you can still just Raff them anyway, if you decide to keep Treacherous in, but you shouldn't. But anyway, that was the brilliant ABC deck list that I took to the Garden City Regional. Nothing really special about it. Pretty standard, except, you know, no Desires because poor. Anyway, shout out to my homeboy Jane. He let me play the deck. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Couldn't have done any of this without you, because otherwise I would have played fucking Odd Eyes Magician, and I could not get that deck to win no matter what. So, and I'm still trying to figure out what deck I'm going to play for the next Garden City Regional, which is March 25th, and that's going to be well into Zodiac format. So I don't know whether or not I'm going to play Domain Monarch or Birds. They both are pretty popular rogue decks, and they have top regionals here and there, so I'm going to wait for YCS Seattle to happen, and then depending on whether or not I think the format's that bad, I'll go and build a deck and invest. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit. Again, shout out to my homeboy Jane. Link to his channel in the description down below. Cannot shout him out enough. Without him, I could not go to the regional. So I was one game away from my invite, and I was so pissed. But like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit, and see you guys later.